Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Well, hello, everybody. I am Gabriella, and welcome to our next episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. I have the absolute pleasure to bring to you guys today my good friend, Sarah Miner. Hey, Sarah, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I am absolutely fabulous, and even more so because I get to interview you today.
Woo,
So
I'm delighted.
yeah, you guys, I can't even tell you how excited I am to bring to you Sarah today, because if you look at our content, if you look at our website, and if you look at all of our branding, Sarah is actually the person that took the words from my mouth and from my brain and turned them into this amazing graphic. So she's just been phenomenal at helping us get launched and get off the ground. And I told her that she absolutely had to be one of our experts because she's so brilliant. And Sarah, will you tell our audience about your expertise?
Absolutely. Thank you. So for me, it's all about branding and marketing your business and bottom line, telling your why, showcasing your voice, be seen, be heard, and be remembered, as you say. But it's also important in your branding. And my background goes, I have my undergrad in graphic design as well as art. And so that's where the creativity comes in. But I'm also working toward my master's in consumer sciences. And that includes not just social media, but also digital marketing and pretty much the psychology of consumers and why they do what they do and how you can progress in your business.
Well, honestly, isn't that what we're all trying to do when we're out there in business and in sales as entrepreneurs? We're trying to appeal to a prospect and bring them through the process to actually have them be a consumer of our products. So you have a story that got you to where you are to become the expert that you are. Will you please share that with our audience?
Absolutely. So I was in my undergrad and I, did graphic design, as I said earlier, and I wanted to be able to leave my administrative support position because my idea of providing all the success for somebody else and not me was really daunting, and it was starting to take a toll on my morale. And so I thought, okay, what do I need to do in order to get out there and become a graphic designer? I actually talked to one of my professors and he said, Sarah, you need to be online. You need to have a presence online. And so I went to YouTube and I learned how to create a website. And I delved into it a little bit in the past, way back in 2000 when it was HTML. And so I was like, well, I know a little bit about it, so let's see what I can do. So I pretty much taught myself how to create a website using WordPress. And 3 years later, I was on Google. I even learned SEO, so search engine optimization, the keywords, and I was able to get a lot of eyes on it, so to speak. And I impressed a few people, and they asked me, "So who did your website?" And I was like, "I did." And then it got to the point where they were like, "Well, you should do this to get paid." And so I was like, okay, well, yeah, let's do that. And and I learned, what to charge. All of it was Google. All of it was really just, test, trial and error. And then I decided I wanted to learn digital marketing so that I could learn to market myself. So it was all, in a way, it was all selfish. It was all me trying to figure out how to market myself. But in the long run, I ended up helping others do that. And I'm very passionate about helping others. In a way, it wasn't really just about myself. I really wanted to figure out what my passion is. Come to find out, I'm a natural at marketing, and I have that eye for design. And so I just kind of molded them all together and thought, this is a great way to help businesses because they don't always know how to voice themselves, how to express themselves, and through design.
That would be me.
So, so it became my superpower, and I didn't realize it was my superpower until I started helping other people.
Yeah, no, so I just want to share with our audience based on what you were sharing, and I tell this to people all the time. So the concept for GabTalks as a podcast and a vodcast, I wrote out back in 2018, 2019, but I didn't do anything with it. And then in the beginning of 2021, you and I were in a conversation and I was describing it to you, and I did a design and I sent it to you. And you said, you tell people this story all the time. You literally said to me, honey, you are way too literal. Let me do the graphics. And I was like, okay. And I described what I had in my mind. We came up with the name together, and then you sent me a graphic, and I was like, oh my God. But it was 80% done and 80% to where it needed to be from your very first graphic that you sent over to me. Nobody else have I ever spoken to that's done any kind of graphic work for me, like literally can take the words and bring them to life in a picture like you did. So,
and I honestly love hearing you tell the story, not just because it's about me, but because it's passion. You're passionate about what you do, but you're not always able to express that visually.
yeah.
And so for me, being able to express that visually for other businesses, for other people is really a dream come true. It's my passion. It's my superpower. And I want others to be able to come to me, and I give them that same feeling of the aha moment, right? The goosebumps. Wow, you read me perfectly.
Yeah.
And that really, it's a testimony to me that what I'm doing I'm going on the right path.
Well, and that's kind of really important to the whole concept of why we are bringing success tips from experts, because different people have different expertise. And although there's a certain theme that runs across all experts, I can't do it all myself. I need people like you. Hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them.
This is Tony Stark Polici, copywriter, marketing consultant, and author. And I have a question for you. If you could take $20 and turn it into 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, would you do it? Well, you can. And it's not through gambling. It's not investing in the stock market. It's by buying this book. That's right, my book. This was voted number 9 out of the top 100 best copywriting books ever written, and I wrote it for you, for business owners, to help you write better emails, better sales copy, better advertisement, to communicate better in all of your marketing and business communications. This book will change your business and your life. Try it. You're going to love it.
It's time to take a vacation from processed foods. The ultimate lifestyle transformation kit will upgrade the way you look, feel, and perform, or will give you your money back, guaranteed. By taking a vacation from processed foods, you will detoxify your organs, cleanse your cells, and remove chemicals from your gut. And once you begin to nourish your cells and balance your hormones, you may notice increased energy, lower stress, deeper sleep, heightened mental clarity, improved digestion, and sexy lean muscle. Any of that sound interesting to you? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You already eat every day, and what you eat really matters. This is your chance to upgrade your food, upgrade your health, and upgrade your life.
So I want to talk about your inspiration because in order to get to wherever we are, something winds up influencing or inspiring us. And you were telling me a story that was very inspirational to you. So will you share with our audience your influence?
Absolutely. So it was actually a Facebook post, someone telling their story, which is really what a lot of us want to hear, are stories of the person behind the brand, right? Well, this woman talked about a lesson that her mother taught her from a really young age, and it helped her through life and then helped her with her own children. And that was that you can always leave. And so she was at a sleepover, and she was uncomfortable, wasn't getting along with the little girl that she was sleeping over with. And her mother said, it doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter the situation. You can always call me no matter what. If you can't get a hold of me, then wake up the parent and have them try to get a hold of me. So she did. And even the mother who had to call the little girl's mother apologized to her and said, I'm so sorry that she woke you up and that she caused all of this mess. And the mother was like, no, you have no reason to apologize. I told her that she can always leave. So coming back to now, we have to do jobs, right? That we feel like we have to just bite our tongue, not say a word, especially as women, and to keep our mouths shut. Well, no, not anymore. And as women entrepreneurs, still being a minority, a woman-owned business, we need to speak up. We need to leave if we need to leave. And we need to say we're uncomfortable. You know, that whole saying, see something, say something. When we're working with clients, a lot of the time they don't want to be sold to. And so this kind of inspired me to really reach out and find those inspirations. And Simon Sinek, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of him in the entrepreneur world, but I think if you're outside the entrepreneur world, you may not have heard of him, but he has this quote that he always says. And then he also has a TED Talk called The Why Behind Your Business. And he says that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so I'm always telling my clients that you need to think about your voice, why you're doing what you're doing, and tell that story, because that is what will get people attracted to you and what you do, because you matter. And if you need to walk away from a client, you can.
Well, you know, I love Simon Sinek too,
Yes.
but this is a perfect segue into my next question. If you were to go back and talk to your 20-year-old self, what one piece of advice would you give them?
I would tell them to follow their gut. For a long time, I kind of second guessed myself, and I didn't go after my dreams right away. I kind of just listened to my parents a lot. And, you know, as a matter of fact, when I was little, I was fearless. I would do all the things. And, you know, how I was saying earlier that I was born a marketer. Well, when we moved I'm from Las Vegas. When we moved from Las Vegas to North Las Vegas, I went to every single door in my neighborhood introducing myself and my family. I was fearless, and I don't meet strangers. And as I was moving more further into who I am, my why, and becoming that fearless kid again, I realized that that's what people want to see. They want to see your uniqueness, who you are, and following your gut and following who you are is what makes you unique. And it's what makes people want to get to know you. And so that was a huge thing that I needed to probably tell my younger self, because then I wouldn't have had anything holding me back.
Right. I'm so completely right there with you. So for our younger audience, or if you're changing careers, that is an excellent piece of advice. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor to you and ask you if you can share some of your very best success tips that our audience can literally take action on right now and go implement.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of tips that we have to learn the hard way starting in a business. And I think the smartest tips that I learned along the way is that, number one, immediately get your LLC. Protect yourself, protect your business, keep it separate from your personal. And that was something I learned the hard way. Another thing is do your superpower. Don't try to do too many things at once. want.
Yeah.
My superpower is strategy. It's helping people figure out their pain points and trying to solve those problems. And it can involve branding. It can involve marketing, whether it's social media marketing, email marketing, but it really boils down to having that conversation. So think about those things as you're trying to have a business, not just a startup business, but a business that's actually going to be sustainable. You have to really strategize your goals and where you want your business to be 1 month, 1 year, 5 years down the road. So that was probably a huge thing I learned, was to really be goal oriented in your business.
Yeah. Awesome. So I know that everybody needs a Sarah Miner in their life, like I did and do. And I am super honored to be able to call you such a close friend and colleague. You literally helped me do exactly what you just described, where I tapped into what my true superpower is and followed my gut that I should have done more than 20 years ago. And I don't know if I would be able to be where we are today if it weren't for having had the opportunity to meet you and be able to collaborate with you. So I would like you to please share with our audience, and don't forget the links will be down below in the show notes and in the description. Will you please share with them where they can contact you?
Absolutely. You can find me at sarahlminerdesign.com, or you can email me at sarah@sarahlminerdesign.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, all the things pretty much. I mean, as a marketer, we kind of have to be we have to have our toes dipped in everything.
And we'll get all the social media links as well as your website and your email address in the show notes and description. And by the way, we have you identified as one of the contributors on all of our content. You know, I teach a class once a week, and I literally always end the class with a graphic. And I always say, if it weren't for Sarah, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today. That you designed all of those graphics for our class for us. So you guys make sure that you reach out to Sarah and see how she can help you not just design a logo, but strategize and create a brand, update your brand, all kinds of things, help you with your social media. And I do know that there's a lot of people out there that have somewhat outdated brands, or they're not really sure, or they kind of like it. And you do have an offer for our audience that I'm certain that they should take you up on. Will you share with them what that is?
Absolutely. So normally it's about $250, but for your audience, I am going to provide what I call a 30-minute free brand analysis, where I take a look at all your branding. So that can include your logos, your marketing materials, your website, your social media, and I do an audit, and I help you come up with the next steps to scale your business.
Absolutely. On each episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hello, I'm Deborah Thorne, the Information Diva, author, coach, trainer, speaker, and the proud host of the Leverage Conference for speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs. Today, it is my pleasure to highlight one of my favorite nonprofit organizations, Demo Chicks. Demo Chicks empowers, elevates, and enlightens girls and young women in the non-traditional fields of architecture, construction, and engineering. For more information about Demo Chicks, please use the link below. Thank you for your support.
So you guys, make sure that you take Sarah up on her offer. Trust me, it will be worth it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Don't forget to do the reminder so that you get notified when we are publishing our next episode. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.